Okay, let's get started. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. We're really honored to be here on the stage together with the panelists, and then we'll give all of them the chance to introduce themselves. My name is Christian Ekler. I'm in charge for healthcare in Europe, Middle East, Africa, and India for Ernst & Young EY. More than 25 years in this sector, and really honored to have so high-end profiles here with me today. I sorted out some questions later, but first of all, I would like to introduce all of them. First, on the left-hand side is Hans Keirstead. You will have the chance to introduce yourself afterwards. Dr. Ying Li and Alex Zhavoronkov. Thank you so much for having you here. And now I would like to give Hans the chance to introduce himself.
Thank you. Yeah, real pleasure to be here. My name's Hans Keirstead. I've been a 15-year-long professor of neuroscience. Retired that, got into drug development in my own companies. I've built and sold 3 companies to large pharma. I'm running 2 companies now, one with a personal immunotherapy for cancer and a infectious disease vaccine that's one shot, protects you against 10 bugs. Those 2 assets are actually just tipping commercial in multiple countries right now, so very, very exciting. And I'm currently leading Immunis, my most recently founded company, where we're very, very honored to have won a couple awards, designating us as a global leader in health span by X Prize and the National Academy of Medicine in the United States. What we've done is developed an immunomodulator, 440 active ingredient drug that touches your immune system in 440 places, causing it to decrease its biological age. Rather than being pro-inflammatory, as all of us are with age, it drops it down, and that results in manifestations of aging reversing. So we just finished some clinical trials in phase 2 and see just tremendous results in reversing fatty liver and increasing walking and muscle growth and muscle strength in the aged. So very, very exciting time for me.
Thank you, Hans. Ying, could you also give us some intros to you? Thank you.
Sure. Very nice to be here. My name is Ying Li. I'm the founder and managing partner of Atma Capital. I have a background from MIT in computer science and economics. Then I got a Ph.D. in traditional Chinese medicine. So it's a cross-disciplinary, combining the wisdom from the Eastern medicine with the cutting-edge technology of wearables, AI from the Western world. And at Atma Capital, we invest mostly in AI, digital health, and sustainability-related companies.
Thank you. Alex, also some words?
Sure. Salam alaikum. Alex Zhavoronkov. I am the founder and CEO of a company called Insilico Medicine. We are a clinical stage generative AI biotechnology company. So our job is to discover drugs using AI, take them to clinical trials, and then sell them to pharma. And we also sell software to the pharmaceutical companies to be able to do what we do faster. We are very global, so we have sites in Boston, in Montreal, in Shanghai, in Suzhou, in Hong Kong, in Taipei, and actually we're very present here in the region. So we have about 60 people in Abu Dhabi, and very often here in Riyadh and Dammam, working with Aramco and other companies to design new materials using our chemistry engine. The company is very focused on longevity. So we really believe that we can push the boundaries of human lifespan and health span at the same time by developing really potent therapeutics that address aging and disease. So deeply honored to be here. Great to see friends in the audience. Some of our investors, Karen Deerfield, you were on the panel. Thank you for your support. And of course, many other friends here.
Okay, let's get started, folks, with some questions. So first of all, I'm not a pharmacist, I'm not a doctor. So could you probably, in your words, a little bit define the potential of cell-based innovation first? I would like to make a round, but really to show the difference between our traditional medical pharmacy and cell-based innovation. That would be helpful even for the crowd here.
Yeah, happy to take that first. You know, I've always, in my drug development life, I've always taken a thesis of letting human biology lead rather than my trying to better it with my own brain. So we use stem cells and other biologics in order to let them watch what it does. So I've watched this field go from cellular transplantation, very expensive, very high cost of goods, right? And then very high regulatory bar. And I've seen it shift to use of cells in modeling, use of cells for secretome. The potential is phenomenal because clearly the body does it a lot better than we do. You know, you built what you have with your own stem cells. And we do tackle most of the diseases that hit us with age. Each of us have some 6 cancers a day that we all successfully fight off until we don't. But nonetheless, we do have a lot of lessons to learn from our own bodies. So cellular therapy I see shifting from transplantation to models and secretome products.
Thank you. Any further comments here, Ying?
Yes, cell therapy to us is a step towards more systematic and holistic approach. So I see a convergence from the micro level to the macro level. So in the Eastern world, they treat the whole body as a system, your mind, your body, and the environment. Those will work in harmony as a whole to make the cell, the mind, and everything more healthy. So I'm very happy to see that the cell therapy now is gaining more importance, and it is going to make more impact on our health span and lifespan.
Alex?
So Insilico is actually a small molecule company when it comes to discovering and developing drugs ourselves. At the same time, we provide software to the entire industry to study biology. And currently, many pharmaceutical companies use our software specifically for cell therapy applications. What we see in the industry right now is that in the past, I would say maybe like 5 years ago, or even like 10 years ago, cell therapy held a lot of promise. So there was a lot of investment, a lot of excitement about this particular field. And now many pharmaceutical companies started exiting this field. So you've seen that Takeda just recently dropped the ball on cell therapy. Novo Nordisk also dropped the ball. And many others, because it's actually very difficult to scale. And they're coming back now into small molecules. So we actually see that people are coming back to the traditional approaches, which is sad and good at the same time. And I think one of the reasons for that is because in order for cell therapy to succeed, you need to, A, ensure that it's very consistent. So there needs to be standards, and it needs to be very consistent. You need to ensure that it works, and it can scale, and it can be delivered cheaply. And currently, all of those 4 aspects are not there. So we need to have more biotechnology companies funded by visionary investors who try to get to the level of operational efficiency that allows you to achieve those 4 things. And we are very happy to develop software for that, but we are not jumping into cell therapy ourselves.
So all we see is a big potential in cell therapy. And Hans, probably another question is, what probably global regulation do we need to prevent fragmentation of access, right?
Yeah, great question. You know, the harmonization of different regulatory bodies in different countries is infantile at best right now. There is definitely some, but it's more speak than it is reality. It's really just used by lower and middle income countries to copy a system, but enforcing that system, directing that system, supporting that system is often absent. So it's really the, truly ingraining the policies. I see 2 things. One is harmonization of regulatory policies, and so that you get a really quite advanced nation like Japan in cellular therapies, who made very progressive laws many years ago, and is probably the leading stem cell country in the world because of those progressive laws. They have begun to trickle out into many nations. And what I'm speaking about as a concrete example is the ability in Japan to skip a phase 3 if you have outstanding efficacy and safety in your phase 2 and a broad-acting drug. So that type of work that gets drugs out onto the market quickly, and of course they don't skip safety, they don't skip the essence of a phase 3, which is trying to look for contraindications, because they mandate that you look at the patient for 7 years with a phone call every year. Not very onerous. If I was given phase 3 approval for my phase 2 finished drug and I had to phone 1,000 patients or 50,000 or 100 million patients a year, I would do that if I could access the marketplace. That type of mirroring, sharing these efficiencies, I think would go very, very far. And then also in the realm of innovation. So we saw in the United States secretome laws get, not laws, but policies get passed at our regulatory authority, where for the first time, a multi-active ingredient can actually be regulated as a drug. Right? Every drug you've ever taken is a single active ingredient. But now you can use multi-active ingredients, as long as, of course, you can generate it repeatedly. Well, that has birthed a secretome, brand new drug category, yet not every country has adopted those views yet. So in order to get the cutting edge innovation, there needs to be greater communication between regulatory authorities.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's change gear probably to the financial model, right? So currently it's a high cost niche, cell therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we transform this from a high cost niche to a scalable global solution? So Ying, any aspects of knowledge there for what could be the investment model for it?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So I think traditionally, if we approach it from the bottoms up, it's very expensive. You go through a lot of these trials. But if we approach it from the top-down perspective, for example, we invested in a company called Yuva Bio. And what they do is, like Hans said earlier, that nature has answer to everything. And we should really leverage the intelligence that exists in nature. So what this company did was using an AI platform to screen all the naturally occurring compound. And they luckily found one that was highly potent in stimulating the mitochondria, which is the engine for the cell. So when you can really activate and invigorate the engine of the cell, then the cell becomes much healthier and can help you grow. And they've shown clinically that when this cream that they developed with this compound was applied to the hair was able to grow 30 to 40% more within 12 weeks. And similarly with skin, so they have a big partnership with Estee Lauder, L'Oreal, etc., to pursue these paths. So I think if we look at things from a different perspective, how to leverage the nature and also the personalization that exists through AI and generative models to help from the neural or the mindset perspective, as the last panelist, Josh, mentioned, that if you just maintain a very positive attitude, you become much healthier, and a lot of your chronic illnesses could go away. So I think, the financial model, there are different things we can tweak, but the bigger lever would be to view the problem from a different perspective.
Very good, thank you. And in the kingdom, you have a lot of public-private partnerships. Could public-private partnerships probably one aspect of accelerating that investment potential?
Absolutely. Because right now, a lot of the public, they don't know, so some people I would say the majority people, believe in taking drugs. That's the only thing that cures disease. But if we have the government trying to have the education for the people that, not necessarily you need to take drugs only to cure the disease, but there are a lot of different ways because this whole system, our mind, body, environment, all work as a whole. So there are different things you could do. So the education is very important. However, there's so many solutions exist out there. So it's very important for the government to put out a standard saying, which ones are really truly helpful. And those standards would only have a quality control past the solutions that are proven scientifically to be effective to educate to the public.
Thank you.
May I add something quickly?
Yes, sure.
On the financial On the
Yes.
first question, the financial elements of
Investment model.
perspective of cellular therapy, I see the field shifting to using cells to make drugs, but not cells as drugs, and that is very, very financially efficient. At Immunis, we're taking billions of cells and we're farming them in huge bioreactors to take their secretome. Well, that secretome, our scaled projections are 30 cents cost of goods per human dose. That's phenomenal. Whereas cellular therapy would be hundreds of thousands of dollars per dose. So using the cells in a process all of a sudden takes the beauty of the cell, but makes the product very, very financially efficient. Yeah.
Good point. Let's probably also switch gears to AI. We have to, sure. Alex, so what is your perception on how can AI reduce production costs for cell therapies? What do you think?
Sure. So AI can help you at pretty much every step of drug discovery and development in every therapeutic modality, not only cell therapy, not only in small molecules or peptide or protein drugs. It helps you everywhere, starting from disease modeling, target discovery, to production. And we've demonstrated so far in small molecules that we can reduce the time to developmental candidate, sometimes by 80%, and the cost even further. We see some of the folks that are using our software produce spectacular results in, I would say, cell research and maybe preclinical research with cell therapies. And much of that innovation is happening in China. So everything that deals with scale and cost down and also ultra high quality is now also associated with China. So actually, if you are not in China right now, you probably don't even know what's happening with cell and gene therapy at scale. And we see that AI is becoming, like everybody is using very similar tools. There is massive democratization of AI, like what we've seen with DeepSeek. Now you can modify some of those models to improve your manufacturing. You can modify some multimodal models to help you with many areas of drug R&D, including cell therapy, and you can get it out of the box and train it. Don't need to have specialized expertise. And again, as I've mentioned before in my kind of spiel, cell therapy may be too early still. So in order for us to get to scale, we need to make sure that it's consistent, it's cheap to deliver, it is scalable, and it works. So AI can help you with all of those four elements to make it perfect, but it will take time.
Do you see probably an AI-generated platform which could help us in R&D for cell therapies? Do you see that potential?
Of course, and there are multiple. So with cell therapies, AI is very powerful in text and imaging already. So those are two data modalities where AI is extremely good, and you can verify the output with your own human intelligence, your vision, and your intelligence, unlike in small molecules or in biologics where you need to perform the experiment. And there is massive amount of imaging data that is coming from cellular experiments and also annotated with text, and there is always usually some omics involved. So what we have at Insilico, we have a massive automated facility that works with cells, mostly for R&D purposes, and that's where we use a lot of bimodal AI that works with imaging and text for reasoning that can, in real time, perform many processes that were previously performed only by humans. So quality control, consistency, understanding the cellular processes just from imaging. Basically, it's instead of human looking at cells, it's going to be AI, and it will always be close to perfect, better than human. So that's where AI is already transforming the industry.
Thank you so much. Even in the same procedure as in the pre-panel, I only had 50% of my questions to get answered from the high-end profiles here. Probably finally, we are 2 months before Christmas. Yeah. So if you would have one Christmas gift in terms of cell therapy, in probably one short sentence, what would that be?
I guess that would be expedited commercial approval of our healthspan drug.
Thank you, Ying.
I would say the Christmas gift, if we can have awareness of our own body, mind, and
Yes.
environment,
Very nice.
everything working in harmony, then health span and lifespan would be the result.
Thank you, Alex.
Well, I'm more into Ramadan than Christmas in this region. But a really good New Year gift would be we have a really high-profile paper in review showing that we have succeeded with one of the very important experiments, and it would really be nice to get it accepted. So if you're a reviewer of a big paper that comes from my group, please do accept it. And it has very large cohort, very large amount of clinical data that we got from the clinical trial. So please do accept my paper.
Thank you so much, and thanks to Hans, Ying, and Alex. Thank you for being here, and back to you. Thank you.
Thank you.